All right, let's see what we got here. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, Welcome back, Jay. How you doing, man? So you're gonna kind of have to bear with me here. This is gonna be my first time streaming on the channel, so hopefully everything is going to come through the way it should, and hopefully it's everything sounds okay. That's kind of the plan. But yeah, welcome back. So yeah, definitely just let me know if everything sounds okay on your end, and that everything is looking good. That's kind of the plan, right? Sounds and looks good. Awesome, awesome. It's Friday, so I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. I'm definitely happy it's Friday. I'm excited for the weekend just to kind of relax a little bit. I recently just started a new job, so been just kind of cramming my head full of information with the new industry and a new position, doing just kind of working a lot on that, and then also trying to record music on top of that and make these videos. So this is kind of like a test run for the live streams. Obviously, in the future, I'm going to give way more of a heads up, but I just kind of wanted to see how the interaction would be. Obviously, when I live stream on YouTube, I can't play any of the music, so I can't, like, what would be really cool if I was able to do live reactions, but unfortunately, YouTube will have a fit if I do that. So if I do a live reaction on YouTube, it'll get copyright and they'll shut down the stream like that. It'll be not worth it. So the whole point, point is just kind of hang out, and I'm just kind of see if some of my subscribers want to jump in, say hi, and talk to me about their favorite bands and their music, or maybe ask me questions about my bands and my music. Really, just kind of a hangout Q&A, and just kind of chill back, have a drink, and relax. Because like you said, it's Friday. And there is a bit of a delay in the chat too. So if you do say something, just keep in mind that it's going to pop up probably. Well, my response will be delayed to what you put on. Is what I mean. Oh yeah, my bad. Totally forgot about all the copyright crap for live streams. Yeah, unfortunately, I could get away with it if I did it on Twitch and I moved everybody there and told people to go there and check it out. I could get away with it if I did that, because Twitch won't kick you off. They'll just if you record the live stream and it comes back as a video for people to go back and watch later, it'll block out that copyrighted segments of the video. But they're nowhere near as bad as YouTube. I mean, YouTube, you might as well murder you if you play anything that's got copyright on it at all. They throw a fit. So where are you from, Jay? Are you from the U.S. or how did you find One OK Rock? Because until somebody suggested that I check them out in on one of my videos, I've never heard of them before. And funny enough, they actually performed at a Warped Tour that I was actually at. So I actually had the opportunity to check them out, and I just never knew about them. Also, congratulations on the new job. Thank you. I appreciate it, Jay. You also just started a new job. That's great, dude. That's awesome. I unfortunately I lost my previous job due to the this pandemic crap. So that's pretty cool. But that's awesome. I'm glad to hear you got a new job as well. And you're from Chicago. Okay, it's my mother actually lives in Illinois, so she lives out in Champaign, Illinois, where it's just all cornfields and farmland as far as the eye can see. And then where I live, it's Amish and small town country. But yeah, but the biggest point of this is really just to kind of hang out, relax, chill, talk to you guys. If any of my subscribers jump on, just kind of get to know them, see where they're from, just kind of chat, really, just kind of hang out, relax. Nothing too crazy or over the top, and just kind of talk about music, talk about your favorite bands, your genres, or maybe something you want me to check out, or maybe you have a beef with me because of I said something that you don't like about one of the bands I reacted to. Let's talk about it. Day I was on YouTube looking for another song from a Japanese band, and a recommendation for One OK Rock song "Clock Strikes" was in the list, so I clicked on it. Oh, okay, so you just kind of stumbled across them. That's cool, though. That's definitely cool. I mean, the deepest that I the deepest that I got in the deepest that I got into like Japanese music was metal. So and that's kind of the same concept for me. Same concept for me. Came across Deviloof, which is a Japanese visual K deathcore band. I came across them and I watched their song Torture, and I'm like, wow, this is pretty heavy. It was intense. A lot of emotion went into it. A lot of, especially the vocalist, and I was like, okay, what is this? And that kind of like introduced me to like the visual K scene and everything about visual K. So I kept watching visual K music, and I started doing the reactions to them and checking them out. But Deviloof was like my big Japanese like introduction to Visual K, because I had no idea what it was. I was pronouncing it as Visual Kai for the longest time, and people were like, "No, it rhymes with play." So a lot of people corrected me there. But yeah, so I stumbled across Deviloof. I liked them because of how heavy they were, and then it just kind of transpired from there, and I just kept going. Um, Obviously before Deviloof, I knew about Duran Gray. Duran Gray's been worldwide though. I mean, Duran Gray is one of those bands that most people in the metal scene have heard of. They're like, yeah, I've heard of that band. Whether they're not incredibly familiar with them, they know them. But Deviluth really kind of introduced me to that other side of things, and then I stumbled across other bands like Dexcore, and then Jaluka, and then from there, people on my reaction videos took me into a whole nother direction of J-Rock, and that turned into checking out bands like Love Bites, Bandmade, and then the billion other seems like all female rock bands that I can't speak, that Japan has. Katie, I like your hoodie. How can I get one of those? So in the description of this video, there's links to my merch store, there's links to my Patreon, and if you feel so obliged to throw me a tip for the stream, obviously that's not required, never will be. But if you feel so obliged to do that, that's a link. That's all that information is in the description of this live stream video here. So that's kind of that was kind of my introduction to like the Japanese thing. So now I kind of went like on my reactions went down like this rabbit hole of just reacting to Japanese band after Japanese band after Japanese band, and I wanted to. So lately I haven't been doing that as much, just because I wanted to kind of branch out and check out other countries' music, and check out other bands as well, because after a while it gets to the point where I know what Love Bite sounds like. I know what Bandmade sounds like. And if I keep doing those videos, it seems like it feels to me almost like I'm doing them just because I know people are going to want to watch them. And it's almost like clickbait. So that's why I kind of try to avoid doing that. And because every single video, they just released a new song, you got to check it out. Okay, I'm trying to find new music and interact with a whole nother country if I can. I've been down, they call it the rabbit hole or the foxhole, or all these different names for these Japanese bands and this Japanese music. So, so I've been kind of venturing in that direction as well. Just trying to kind of branch out more as well. I don't want people to think I'm just making videos for views, because I want to give a genuine reaction. Socrates 1775. Have you gotten to the Canadian power metal band Unleash the Archers? I have not. So I have not reacted to them yet. I did see, I think it was probably you who recommended them on one of my videos. I have not gotten to them yet. I've actually heard of the band, not very familiar with them. So I'll definitely need to check them out. Do you have a particular song that you think would be good for me to react to? Because if you do, I'm completely all ears. I'm open. Awakening for starts. Okay. Well, I actually have a pen and notepad next to me, so I'm going to write that down. Jay, what's your favorite band? And then Socrates says, then Tonight We Ride or Test Your Metal. Okay, cool. So I wrote down The Awakening. So I'll definitely make sure I do a reaction to that and check that out. Jay, what's your favorite band? Wow, that's a tough question. Let's start it with the band that I guess got me into the music that I'm doing. So I'm a metal vocalist. I've been doing it for about 8 years. I've always kind of leaned towards the I guess metalcore or deathcore side of vocals, the harsh vocals mainly. and really like a billion other people as well, but really the main guy that really got me into doing these vocals. And what I heard him and I'm like, I want to sound like that. Like that's power. That's, that's strength. Phil Bozeman of Whitechapel. So I would have to say that Whitechapel was like the staple for me for metal vocals. So they became one of my favorite bands because of Phil, the frontman, the vocalist, because he's just an incredible and powerful and just really a well-respected vocalist. And so that would probably be one of my favorite bands. But I'd say probably the bands that really got me into metal were, funny enough, is like bands like Linkin Park. And then from Linkin Park, I remember getting into Slipknot. When I was 11 years old, I saw Slipknot live, and that was kind of like it for me. I went to a live show, and I'm like, this is what I want to do. Like, this is crazy. Like, metal was just awesome. And then I just kept listening. So I think Slipknot was the introduction big time for me to the heavier side of things, and I just progressively started listening to heavier music. Bad connection here, and it may not be your connection, man. It may be mine. I don't have the best internet, so sometimes it may struggle with the live stream. And Passio, hi, nice to see you live. Hope everyone's having a good day and good evening. Yeah, I'm having a good evening, man. Happy Friday. Hope you're doing the same. Are you leaving Japan? Definitely have to do Suki. Is it Tsukikyo? I know I butchered that. If you don't know them yet. I'm not leaving it completely. I'm just trying to make sure that I don't get stuck in doing only one thing. Because I want to check out bands from all over the place, so not just Japan. So like, I don't want my channel to be reaction videos on just Japanese bands. That doesn't mean I'm not going to react to them. I'd love to react to more bands because, I mean, if they're good, they're good, right? So I can definitely check them out. Now, Socrates, you had mentioned Maximum the Hormone and Unlucky Morpheus. Now, I'm very familiar with Maximum the Hormone. I've heard their music before. I've checked them out. That's one of the biggest reasons I haven't reacted to them, because I feel like my reaction wouldn't be as genuine as the other ones that I've never heard of before. And as for Unlucky Morpheus, I have several, I think 2 or 3 reaction videos up for them. So if you go back on my channel and just go to my videos, I have a few reactions up actually to Unlucky Morpheus. I dig them a lot, actually. I think they're pretty cool, especially the violinist. I really dig violin in metal, and I think it sounds really cool. That sounds like a good plan. Yeah, so like I said, I don't want to get trapped in being a channel that only reacts to one thing, Have you thought about recording the Japanese reaction videos and just releasing them? That's definitely a possibility, but the reason why I typically so there's two. So here are my thoughts on that. So when you record a whole bunch of videos in advance and then release them later, especially reaction videos, I feel like you can get tired and you can kind of get burned out. So maybe you come across, you do them over and over and over again. So I want my reaction to be as genuine as possible. Like, I'm never gonna jump up and go crazy and go loud and scream and yell, but I still want my reaction to be genuine, and I don't want to do 3 or 4 videos ahead of time or be sitting down all day recording, and then by the end of the day, the videos that I'm recording, I'm just kind of like, oh, I don't care anymore, So I just want it to be as genuine as possible. But I have recorded videos in advance. I have recorded 2 or 3 videos at a time, and I'll set them to release at certain times. So it's definitely a possibility that I can, something that I can do. Talking about other countries, how about Igor, Igorr from France? Is it Igor or Igor? I've never heard of them. I'll have to check them out. I'll write them down. What kind of music are they, if you don't mind me asking? Scratch that. Just look back. Yeah, so yeah, I do. I definitely dug Unlucky Morpheus. The thing is, for me, a lot of the times, because I'm a vocalist myself, so when I listen to, say, a female vocalist that doesn't scream or doesn't sing, because I primarily am, I do the screaming vocals. I do, however you want to put it, harsh vocals, scream vocals, however you interpret it. So a lot of times when I react to these Japanese bands, it's hard for me to really react to the vocals because I don't want to. I don't sing. I don't mind you asking. I'm afraid that's hard to explain. Fair enough, but that's okay. That's okay. No, I can always check them out, and that'll be even better because now I'm excited to check them out. Um, but yeah, so it's harder for me sometimes to react to vocalists who aren't doing what I'm doing. So a lot of times, at that point, my reaction becomes just, well, did I like the song or did I not like the song? And what I try to do in every reaction video, even if I don't like, I've never once really come out and said, "Man, this song sucks." I've never once been like, this band's terrible," because I try not to do that. I really try to find positive elements to the songs that I listen to, and so I never really try to come out and be too overly like negative. Although some people do get defensive when they watch the videos, and if I say anything that doesn't align with their opinion, or if I say something that just isn't complete and 100% praise for that band, they get really upset. So I do my best when I do the reaction videos to try to find positive elements of the song that I do like. I try to pick out things that I do like in the song, but um, I'm never really I'm not gonna love every song that I react to. And for me, it's I want to provide a genuine reaction, nothing that's overreacted or something that's dramatic and crazy. That's just not who I am. So I want to provide a really genuine reaction. So if I like the band, I'm gonna be like, hey, I really like the band. Here's why I liked it. That's kind of why I try to approach it that way. And for me, I if I could, I would sit there and I'd go through the lyrics of every song that I do. But those videos would then take forever. Those videos would be 30 minutes long a piece, and I try not to do that. Because I like to write and I like to read other people's lyrics and try to interpret what their meaning is behind the songs. Um, so New Zealand metal band Alien Weaponry and their song Kai Tengata. Yeah, I have checked out Alien Weaponry. Not I've checked out that song, and there's actually I have another one that I actually put on my Spotify playlist when they popped up. I cannot remember the name of it right now, but uh, I'd have to go back and look it up. But yeah, I like Alien Weaponry. I have heard of them. Passio. Hopefully, I'm not saying that wrong. Maybe go with the song "Downgrade Desert" for a first reaction because it is at least makes some kind of sense. Or jump in with IEUD. Okay, and that's for the. Let me make sure I didn't miss this. The band from France. Okay, have you heard Ginger? Yes. So Ginger is killer. She's I think her name is. Hopefully I'm not wrong. I think her name is Tatiana, the vocalist. If hopefully I'm not thinking of another one. So yeah, Ginger kills it. The one that all the reactors went to first was their song Pisces, because she goes from a very beautiful, clean singing voice to the very harsh vocals, and they're like, oh my god, that's coming out of a woman. And so for me, the reason why I haven't reacted to that is, one, I've heard it, and two, it's not surprising to me. I've played with female fronted metal bands who sound just as good as her. So so my reaction wouldn't be like, oh my god, that's crazy, because I've played with female fronted metal bands. There's females in my local metal scene that are great screamers too. So my reaction wouldn't be genuine to that because I wouldn't be as surprised as everybody else. But yeah, Ginger's great. So if you like female fronted metal bands, check out Courtney LaPlante and her new band. I'm losing my mind. Spiritbox. Now that's killer. Check out their song Holy Roller. Now she's a beast of a vocalist. Tim Gove, West Virginia's Byzantine. Long song, Justinian. Code has two vocalists. Main guy does like three styles. I've actually heard Byzantine. I actually heard they were on crap, this had to have been a few years ago. They were on Sirius XM radio, and they had a couple of their songs being played, and but I do remember them. I can't remember exactly how they sound, so I'll have to, I'm sure they've released new music since then, so I'll have to check them out. So Socrates, what about Shepherd's Rain? Samoan metal. I've never heard of Shepherd's Rain. I'm gonna write it down. That's cool. Samoan metal. That's gotta be interesting. Yeah, no, I've never heard of them either. But but Tim, I have heard of Byzantine. I maybe heard a song by them 2 years ago on the radio. So I may as well have never heard any of their music. So I'd have to definitely go and recheck them out. Are you familiar with Duran Gray? Yeah, so I'm very, very familiar with Duran Gray. So that was one I also was kind of trying to avoid reacting to as well, because I've heard of Duran Gray. I've probably, if I could speak right, I've heard music by Duran Gray for the past 10 years. I've been very familiar. Those are one of those bands where I tried I tried not to react to, just because it wouldn't be genuine. So that's when I say that, it means when I say that this is a brand new band, it's because it genuinely is. I like to react to music that I typically haven't listened to ever, because then I can really give basically a fresh opinion and perspective on the song. Because if I react to something that I know I'm gonna like, and I've even said it in a few videos, I'm like, hey, I know this band, I like this band, I'm probably gonna like the song. But a lot of the time, it's a lot of fun going into a song not knowing really anything about them, maybe other than their genre and what they say they are, because then it's definitely a more genuine reaction. Um, Le Manu. I hope I probably messed that up. I apologize. It's a popular song of theirs, and that's for Shepherd's Rain. Okay, yeah, I'll definitely have to check out Shepherd's Rain then. Uh, Passio. Okay, yeah, I thought it was the reason you didn't react. I can't. I'm not going to pronounce that correctly. Is it Suki Sukikyo? Sukikyo? Oh man, that's embarrassing. The band I mentioned earlier, is Kaio's second band. So if you haven't heard them, you should. I have not heard them, so I'll definitely have to check them out. So let me write that down, because I am not going to remember that, because I can't even say it correctly. Glad to get feedback from you so I can stop spamming you with groups you've already heard of. No, that's okay, man. Sukikyo. Sukikyo. Did I say that? Did I say that right? Do the song Janboku Muku de Aru. Oh, come on. I think you're just doing this to make me try to pronounce things so I look stupid. That's fantastic. But yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is, like, a lot of times, I can't keep up with the comments now. At first, I was like, I told myself, yeah, I'm gonna try to respond to every single person's comment on my YouTube channel, and I want them to know that I see their comments. And then a couple of my videos started getting a crap ton of comments, and then now I can't keep up with I can't keep up with them. It's very difficult to. Um, but that's not, I'm not reading it. It's not that I'm not reading it, I should say. I just it's hard to keep up, but I do try to read your comments. Like typically when I'm before I go to bed at night, I'm reading through the comments. And that's where I do get a lot of my suggestions for different reactions. A lot of times I just don't respond because I feel bad that if I respond to one person, I feel like I have that need, and I feel like I should respond to everyone, if that makes sense. I can't even say the name of that band correctly. Like I know you've seen my reactions, and there's no way I've said that band's name correctly any of those times. So I'm not even going to try saying that three times fast. It's a good introduction to the band. They're very experimental, even more so than Duran Gray. Okay, that's definitely interesting. Socrates. Okay, I know you're a vocalist and all, but have you checked out an instrumental band from Texas? Yes, I'm very familiar with Polyphia. Tim Henson is an amazing guitarist. That dude's a guitar teacher's nightmare. So and especially his song "Goat." The intro riff to "Goat" is just incredible. I really do. I do. I enjoy Polyphia a lot. For me, it is difficult though to listen to an instrumental band for an extended period of time. And the reason being is because I think it's mainly because I like hearing a vocalist and I like lyrics. Because to me, if lyrics are written well and they're well done, then they can really express a lot of emotion in a song. They can really pull a lot of that song, and there has to be a good blend, obviously. But so that's why a lot of times for me, listening to instrumental music, I can get kind of bored, no matter how good or how talented they are, is because I'm a lyricist and I'm a vocalist, and I want something to listen to and pay attention to and analyze and read, and that's typically the lyrics. Whereas if you talk to my guitarist in my band, Nick, he's gonna go, I love instrumental bands because I can really listen, like Polyphia. I can really listen to the guitar parts, etc. They can't say GS either. Chosen on purpose, goofy fools. But in Japanese, it sounds like gambling, a secondary theme of theirs. Okay, interesting. I do remember reacting to them. They were very bright and very, if I'm not mistaken, they had every single member of that band had a responsibility of doing vocals at some point in the song, which I thought was interesting and kind of cool. But yeah, no, I do, back to what Socrates was saying too, just because it was popping in my head. For me, it's hard to listen to instrumental bands because I'm a vocalist, and I'm like always waiting, and I'm always imagining it too. I'm like, oh man, you could put vocalists here, and etc. YouTube real estate. Hey buddy, you're doing great. Figured out how to comment. Everyone should hit that subscribe button. Uh, I appreciate it, Brian. Thank you, man. I'm glad you figured it out. Tim Gov, try Lisa X band, Japanese band in English, like Polyphia, but with soulful vocals. Okay, Lisa X. I'm gonna write that down. Astral Black. Hey man, love your work. I'm a big fan. Don't let that fool you, everyone. So Astral Black, there, pulling in, being all sneaky. That's the one of the bands that I do vocals in. So if you're interested in heavy music, like deathcore or black and deathcore, such as bands we've gotten compared to, like Lorna Shore. That's kind of the style of music that Astral Black is, and that's one of the bands that I'm doing vocals for. But thank you, Astral Black. Winky face. Honestly, so this is my first live stream that I've done. Obviously, moving forward, I'm gonna give more of a heads up regarding it. I'd like to do a live stream like this every Friday. Every Friday at 10 p.m. Just kind of sit back, grab a drink, relax, and talk to you guys about music. Because this is to me a really cool way to kind of talk to you guys in real time. I see you guys commenting on my videos, and I see you guys suggesting things, and the things that you suggest aren't the only things you listen to. So I want to, get to know you, or where you where you're from, what got you into that kind of music. Just kind of talk a little bit, That's what I really I thought this would be a cool avenue to kind of do that in. And obviously, this was kind of a test and kind of a trial run to see if anybody would join. And honestly, the fact that any of you guys joined is really cool. So I appreciate any of you guys jumping in the stream and saying hi. I honestly didn't expect anybody to jump in. And I was like, I'll probably jump on. No one's going to really be there to chat. So I'll probably turn it off at this time. But the fact that you guys are hanging out and talking, I appreciate it. So thank you. So yeah, I want to do like a live stream like this every Friday. Do it from like 10 to midnight and just kind of chat, have a drink, and just kind of chill with you guys. Socrates, another Japanese metal band that sings in English is Undead Corporation. Okay, yeah, I'll have to check them out too. Let me write them down. Cool, man. I'll check it out. Awesome. The Deadlight Slayer. Hey, man, how's it going? It's going good, man. How you doing? Thanks for jumping in. We're just kind of hanging out, chatting. Music. What's your favorite music? And what are you into, etc. I loved your Sleep Token reaction. Would love to see you react to more of them. Yeah. So Sleep Token, I kind of just stumbled across one day because I religiously listen to music. At any chance that I get, I'm listening to music. If there's downtime at work and I don't have to be in a meeting, I'm listening to music, and typically it's on Spotify. So I stumbled across Sleep Token, and they popped up in my recommended for my Discover Weekly kind of playlist. And I really enjoyed the dude's voice. He has a really, really nice voice. So, and it takes, I don't listen to a lot of clean vocalists just because I love metal. So just coming across Sleep Token was really cool. I really enjoyed his style. Now, the whole backstory behind Sleep Token, I'm not too sure about yet, but I enjoyed the music nonetheless. It looks really a great stream. I'll show up. I would like to see you do a live critique while talking with us. Is that possible? Unfortunately, I wish I could do live reactions on YouTube. Now, if I moved it to Twitch, it's definitely a bigger possibility, but it becomes a pain in the ass to do that. If I do a live reaction, on YouTube, typically within the first 5 to 10 minutes of doing that, it's going to get copyright striked, and they'll actually shut down the entire stream because of it. So that's why, or else I would be doing that right now. So that's why I'm just kind of hanging out, talking and chatting about music with you guys. Tim, I wish I say I can't make it because of gigs, but I guess I'll see you every week. Hey man, I understand that wholeheartedly. I miss playing live. At this time, I don't even remember the last time we played live. It's got to be, I mean, it's well before the pandemic, and that's a bummer. That's a bummer to even think about. Haro Matsu, hi from Japan. I found Baby Metal and then moved on to Band-Maid. Well, what's going on, Haro? Welcome to the stream. Thanks for coming out and hanging out. So, so you found Baby Metal, you found Band-Maid. Are those the typical styles of music that you listen to, or did you just kind of stumble across them? Socrates, the lead guitarist in Undead Corporation is a member of Unlucky Morpheus. The drummer from Unlucky Morpheus is a past member of Undead Corporation as well. Okay. Band-Maid released a new music video, Different, a few days ago. Check it out. I did see that, and I do plan to do a reaction video. I purposely haven't listened to anything yet. So for those of you wanting me to go back and check out more Japanese rock bands, that's definitely going to be one of the ones on my list, is checking out their new music video for Different. Gotcha, DMCA, no worries. Yeah, unfortunately, YouTube is very, very strict on that. Now, I can stream playing a game, no issues. But if I were to stream doing reaction videos live, then they absolutely don't like any of that, unfortunately. Make Me Crazy is a good song to start with for Undead Corporation. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna make sure I'm not missing anything here. Okay, cool. Yeah. No, I honestly, I'm not joking. I have a notepad that I am writing all of your suggestions on right now. No joke. So don't think I'm lying, dude. They're all there with my poor handwriting. So I am actually writing them down, believe it or not. So, what's everyone's favorite musical genre? Does everyone here have a particular genre that you're partial to? Do you like metal? Do you like soft rock? Do you like rap? Whatever. I'll we can see you writing. I'll stop beating the undead horse. No, that's okay. It's okay. You can beat the undead horse all you want, and it's no problem. It doesn't bother me at all, man. Honestly, it doesn't bother me. So I'd like to get to, tell me a little bit about your guys. Tell me about your favorite music. Do the viewers know how you got started in the death metal scene? No, I haven't really talked a lot about myself personally. Not much on the YouTube channel. I haven't really talked about my bands much either. Typically the reason I don't is because I don't want people thinking that the only reason I do reaction videos is to just as clickbait to support my band, essentially. And so I wanted to make sure that there's that the separation of my band and what I do on YouTube, just because I don't want that to put a bad taste in people's mouths. Well, he's only doing these YouTube videos because he wants people to check out his band. So I typically don't mention my band a lot on the videos. The links to my bands, if you're interested in checking them out, are always going to be in the description, but I'm never going to be like, you have to go check it out. Now, every now and again, I may make an announcement like, hey, we just released a new song. It'd be cool if you could go check it out. But other than that, I try not to go too deep into it. Haro, please let me know if I'm mispronouncing your name. Is it Haro Matsu or Haro Matsu? Or is it something that I'm completely messing it up? But you said I was kind of introduced to baby metal by a blogger I often check out. But metal was not my thing, so kind of moved away. Gotcha. Okay. No, that's okay. That's definitely cool. But based on kind of how I got started in, I guess, doing metal vocals, really, it's silly. For me, it was, I was going to concerts, and I'm like, there was something about being at a metal concert that I wanted to be a part of, and I wasn't sure why I wanted to be a part of it. I just knew that I'm like, this is a lot of fun. Something about this feels like I should do this. And I was always kind of drawn to the vocalist. I was like, that sounds cool. How does he do that with his voice? And I remember going and, screaming, driving around in my car, screaming at the radio, screaming to songs, and just sounding god awful. Like, I sounded so bad. And then I just, persistent, watching videos and learning different breathing exercises. And then from there, I just started to see improvement, and I kept going. And then I ended up in a band about 2 years after I started trying to scream, because I was posting crappy covers online with with a cell phone video with no microphone, and just kind of basically yelling at the camera. And a guy I knew when I was a little kid reached out to me and said they're starting a band, and that's kind of how it all started for me. Mostly Patio, mostly metal, but okay. Sukikyo, I'm gonna mess that up every time, is my favorite band. I grew up with Dirt Grey and a lot of the Japanese bands because my parents are and were fans. Oh, that's cool. So your parents are Japanese metal fans. That's really cool. The second pronunciation is perfect. So it's Matsu. And so what is the first one? It's Haro. It's Haro or Haro. Oh, crap. I don't remember. I don't really listen to other music like rap, electronic stuff, etc. That much, but I love it being mixed into metal. Okay, so you're primarily a metalhead. That's cool. Socrates. I'm into rock and metal. My first concert was White Zombie with the Melvins and Reverend Horton Heat as openers. Interesting. That's definitely interesting. White Zombie. Wow. Because White Zombie was the actual band, and then it turned into Rob Zombie. And I'm going to assume that you're older than I am, because I don't even think I don't even remember I don't remember White Zombie. I remember Rob Zombie. The Melvins I've heard of, and Reverend Horton I've never heard of. Reverend Horton Heat, I should say, I've never heard of. Yeah, I'm old. There's nothing wrong with that, though. That's absolutely okay. No, that's great. And for me, I do listen to other styles of music. Like a guy mentioned above when he jumped into the chat and he talked about Sleep Token. There's some times where I'll come across music that's not metal and it just appeals to me or it just sounds really good and it's like, okay, I like this a lot. And most of the time that I come across things like that, it's typically like one or two songs, and then the rest of the music by that artist, I'm like, yeah, I'm not a fan. But there are times where I will come across stuff. I'm like, man, this is really good. I really like piano piano. I would say piano, violin being incorporated with metal. Even electronic can be incorporated really well in the metal. A band that does that really well is a band called The Browning. So they like mix dubstep and metal together, and he does it really, really well. I think the vocalist's name is Johnny, and I think he actually streams on Twitch and does stuff live on Twitch. But they do an excellent job of incorporating dubstep and metal, and I've actually got to play a show with The Browning, and they're a blast to play with. It's crazy to think, I've been with my band, with my band Defy Reality about 8 years, and we've played with. I'm thinking back, and I've pretty much played with all of the bands that I grew up listening to. I've played with them now, and it's really, really cool. Socrates, Reverend Horton Heat is more rockabilly. The bass player has a stand-up place. Oh yeah, that definitely sounds like that definitely sounds like rockabilly. I definitely think I should check them out, though. It sounds like something that might be entertaining. I think the bands that got me started with liking more deathcore is Lamb of God, even Disturbed. All very talented genres and styles of music. So, okay. So Disturbed would be considered new metal or just metal. Just if that helps. Yeah, Disturbed's great. I don't care what anybody says. Disturbed's a great band. David Draymond's a fantastic vocalist. And then Lamb of God, yeah. Lamb of God was, I think, a staple for a lot of people when they got into metal. So for me, it wasn't Lamb of God. I heard Slipknot first, and then I heard bands like Throwdown, and then I found Atreyu. I didn't get into Lamb of God until a little bit later, but that seems like a typical path for a lot of people when they get into metal. Let me see here. But yeah, Lamb of God would be Lamb of God might be just considered death metal, maybe. I'm not sure what they would be considered, or heavy metal, maybe. My first concert was Wacken when I was 6. I don't remember anything about the bands, just a lot of German people and mud. That makes me jealous, man. I would absolutely love to go to Wacken. That would be awesome. That would be absolutely awesome. So we don't have a lot of large festivals here. I mean, I hope I can go again someday. Yeah, me too. I hope we all get to see live music again someday, because right now it seems pretty bleak. So out here we don't really have. If you want something fun, try older Lady Baby. Their song Nippin Manju. Lady Baby. That's a weird name. All right, Lady Baby it is. We're gonna Lady Baby it up at some point. um, yeah. So here in the States, unfortunately we don't have really a lot of cool festivals, and the ones that we did have seem to be just stopping. So we had Mayhem Fest. We've had Ozfest. Louder Than Life is a big one. And Warped Tour. Like, those were like the four big ones. And then, so Ozfest is where I saw Slipknot, Lamb of God, Atreyu, Black Label Society. And that's kind of like, that was like the first time I really got to see metal, and I was like 11 years old. And then after that, it was, the big ones were Mayhem Fest and Warp Tour. So those are like the two big ones, and Mayhem Fest and Warp Tour would come to the same place, typically like a week apart from each other. So I got to go to two metal festivals in 2 weeks, and it was fantastic. Then Mayhem Fest stopped happening. Ozfest pretty much took a crap and is only overseas. And then Warp Tour was great until a year ago, and then they did the final Warp Tour ever, and that's gone. And then now we only have Louder Than Life Festival. That's been now canceled twice, 2 years in a row. And then Louder Than Life Festival I haven't had the opportunity to go to. Now there's Knotfest, so Slipknot hosts Knotfest, but it's not really a tour, so it's not a festival that you can go out and, that's going to come to your city. Knotfest is typically hosted in, I want to say New Mexico and then in California, and then and I think there's Knotfest in Japan maybe as well. If you want something fun, okay, we got that. Lady Baby was made up of 2 Japanese girls and an Australian professional wrestler. What? How do you get 2 Japanese girls and an Australian pro wrestler together? That just seems like an odd combination. Okay, I'm probably mispronouncing. Is it Nippon or Nippon? Manju is like a promotion video for Japan. Remember to put on the subtitles. Okay, damn, but 2 festivals in 1 week sounds heavy. Yeah, no, that was great. I mean, that was probably the best year ever when those two they just lined up perfectly. So I got to go to Warp Tour 1 week and see a whole bunch of my favorite bands, and then Mayhem Fest the following week and see more bands. That was what was a lot of fun. That festivals are definitely a blast. But yeah, no, it was definitely cool. But unfortunately, we don't. Warp Tour doesn't happen anymore. Mayhem Fest doesn't happen anymore. Ozfest here in the United States kind of took a crap. And Knotfest is, on the other side of the country from where I live, so it's very difficult to go see. YT Real Estate. What's the first thing you look for when you analyze and break down a song? Well, for me, it really depends on the music that I'm listening to, because if it's a metal song with a metal vocalist that's doing fry vocals, false core, inhale, whatever you want to call it, I can analyze their vocal style, and I can analyze their lyrics and break down their lyrics and their writing style, and I can check all that stuff out. However, with a lot of the music that I've been reacting to lately, it's a lot more difficult for me to do that, because a lot of the music that I've been reacting to lately are foreign bands. So a lot of Japanese bands with singing in Japanese, or they are singing in English, but their English is very, how to put it, it's masked by a very thick Japanese accent, so it's very difficult to really hear, and a lot of it's singing as well. So I don't like to comment on typical, just normal singing, because I'm not a vocal coach. I don't sing a lot, so I can't be like, oh, that tone is great, or oh, they were off key here, because I feel like that's not my place to do that. So when I can listen to bands that do the screaming, and typical most metalcore bands, deathcore bands, etc., I can comment more on that. Or I like to break down their lyrics per se, and kind of read through the lyrics and say, yeah, this song was written really well, or like, I'm not a fan of how they wrote this, it seems too repetitive, or whatever. So the first thing I typically do is I'm listening for the vocals, and I'm reading the lyrics, because that's what I do, in my band. And I do that because, one, if they're a great vocalist, I can learn a thing from them. I can learn from them. And 2, if they're a great writer, I can also learn from that as well. So those are normally the first couple things that I check out when I listen to another metal band. Socrates, a radio station in Orlando hosts a festival called is it Earth Day birthday, maybe Earth Day birthday. I believe Hailstorm was supposed to headline, but was canceled this year for obvious reasons. Sure, yeah, there's a radio station here and where I'm at, and they host it, and it's called Roverfest, and he typically it's never really any heavier bands. It's a pretty eclectic mix of bands that it's gotten fairly large. The festival here has gotten pretty huge. He's had bands like Shinedown come out and perform. The Yin Yang Twins and Little John and Machine Gun Kelly and stuff like that. But what I'm referring to when it comes to festivals is more of like the metal style of festivals. EDB Day has been going on in Orlando for over 20 years. Past headliners have been Seven Dust, Five Finger Death Punch, and Bush. Okay. So that sounds like more of kind of like a hard rock or just like kind of a rock festival, which is cool because typical rock music has an appeal to a much wider audience than metal, and that's just the truth. You can take that back as far as you want. Metal always is going to have a much smaller audience compared to just your typical radio rock, Are there any vocalists in particular that had an influence on you? Maybe in the beginning when you started out. Yeah, of course, absolutely. So when I first started learning how to scream, one of my main goals was I didn't want to be a vocalist that was trapped doing one style of scream. So one of my main goals was I wanted to be able to take my vocal range and go high, and I wanted to be able to take it and go low. Now, obviously, as high as you can go and as low as you can go is also very much based on your natural tone of voice as well. So if you have a naturally lower voice, then it's going to sound a little bit lower. It's going to be easier for, to have a lower, angrier sounding tone because of that. If you have a higher speaking voice, your lows aren't going to sound as low as some other guys. It's just, so a lot of it is really dependent on your natural tone of voice. So vocalists that really influenced me, I want to say influence, but I didn't want to replicate. So for me, one of the best things that was ever told to me, and one things that I always wanted to stick to was, and I tell kids when I do vocal lessons with them, and I teach them how to scream, and I talk about it, or they ask me questions about it. I tell them, it's good to have guys that you like and you want that are influences to you, but don't mimic them. Don't try to sound like them because they already have that sound. Find your sound, find your tone, find your unique sound. There's going to be vocalists that sound similar, but try your best to find your unique sound. Find what works for you and how you sound. But vocalists that influenced me would definitely be Phil Bozeman of Whitechapel, of course. But that's me and a billion other metal vocalists. And another one probably would have been Alex Kohler of Chelsea Grin. Not so much his lows, because I didn't like his lows, but mainly his higher fry screams. I liked that really shrill high scream, and I was like, I want to be able to go mid low and then low mid high. I wanted to have that, I guess you could say, in my arsenal. I wanted to be able to have that range in my vocals, and and I can confidently say that I worked my butt off to be able to do that. So I'm definitely happy about that. But one thing that I always tell guys that I'm working with is never think that you're at a point where you can't get better. Because I see that all the time. It's like, don't ever get cocky. Don't ever be like, oh, I sound good. It's good. Have confidence in your vocals, but never think you're at a point where you can't get better, because you can always get better. You can always learn new techniques. You can always learn different styles. I mean, it's such a massive world. You're never at a point where you're just like, well, this is it. This is my ceiling. This is where I can't go any further, because that's a lie, and you're lying to yourself. You're always able to get better. And that just comes with practice, patience, and determination. It's really great advice. Well, it's just for me, I don't, people can give up easily, and at the end of the day, and especially, and I'm the biggest one, you're your own biggest critic. Because I mean, I'll go and I can perform on stage, and I'll get off, and I'll be like in such a crappy mood, and someone's gonna be like, "Man, what's wrong?" And I'm like, I felt like I sounded like crap. I'm like, I know I could have done better, and they look at me and they're like, "Are you crazy? You sounded great." So it's just like, it's just kind of like you're gonna be your biggest critic, regardless of what what you actually sound like. You probably could have sounded great, but in your mind, you sounded like a dumpster, but that's okay. But don't let it consume you, because then you're always going to be in that mental state. But yeah, you can always get better. You can always find better techniques, better ways to pronounce words, better breath techniques, learning to control your breathing better, learning to project from your diaphragm better. So there's always different ways to go about it. But so back to kind of what you were saying, Passio, vocalists, just without going into too detail, Phil Bozeman from Whitechapel, Alex Kohler of Chelsea Grin. I cannot remember the guy's name right now. I would have to look it up. But the vocalist of Job for a Cowboy. And then for a while, it was it was Danny Worsnop. Asking Alexandria was like that, one of those it was like middle school me. I loved Asking Alexandria. I'm like, these guys are awesome. Breakdowns, emo, long hair. I loved them. But regardless of what you think of him, Danny Worsnop is a very talented vocalist. Now, just out of curiosity, does anybody in my chat right now, are any of you in bands? And if you are, what kind of music do you play? Do you play any instruments, so on and so forth? I also got to see Cradle of Filth open for GWAR before Odorous died. Probably the best stage show I've seen from a metal band. Yeah, so I've never been a huge Cradle of Filth fan. The reason being is specifically because of the vocals. I don't like those vocals. When I hear it, it just makes my throat hurt, because it's a very, very low hissy style of vocal, and it just sounds like nails on a chalkboard inside of my throat when I hear the vocals for Cradle of Filth. Instrumentally and from a theatrical standpoint, Cradle of Filth sounds great. But I'm not a huge fan of the vocal style that Danny Filth uses. Now GWAR, they have a fantastic stage show, because GWAR, they're a mess. Let's be honest. They dress up. They're like 6-year-old guys, and they're older guys now. I maybe not 60, but that's probably dramatic. I was referring to GWAR for the stage show. Yeah, GWAR. Sorry. Yeah, GWAR, they have a fantastic... I saw GWAR at Warped Tour, and they were shooting fake blood on the crowd. They're all dressed up. They have their whole stage show. They're very entertaining to watch. But what's unfortunate is I'm pretty sure that Odorous, he OD'd, and that's always sad to see, because especially because there's a lot of people who like GWAR, a lot of people who looked up to GWAR, and like, they're great, they're funny, they're hilarious, and then it's like, yeah, well, you're one of your favorite musicians, when this vocalist, talked about X, Y, and Z, they had a drug problem, or and so that was one thing that I always kind of had issues with bands is you are in a unique position if you are in a band that is popular and has gained traction, because you're now being looked at as more than just a band. There might be kids looking up to you almost like a role model. Like, I want to be like him. And then it's kind of like that, you see those movies where kids finally meet their role model, and they're like just complete garbage people. They're garbage human beings, and then it's like, it just devastates them, So that's one thing that, I've always kind of tried to always stay away from in general. Like, with my bands, we don't get drunk at shows. We do not smoke. We don't do drugs. We don't do anything like that. It's always to try to stay, whether it's metal or not, you still want to stay presentable. You want to stay professional. You want to set an example. But again, that's just personal opinion. Some people don't care. Some people are like, I want to see them drunk on stage throwing up on each other. Passio, I'm not in a band, but I play cello and drums, and I had some singing lessons before COVID. Yes, all of that doesn't work well together, but I love doing all three. I think you'd be surprised. Um, I think you could create something cool with a drum beat with cello over it. There's actually a guy that I'm in a few metal groups on Facebook who plays um, a fiddle, and he's got it tuned, and it sounds like an 8 string guitar, and it sounds super heavy, and it sounds really cool. So I think you'd be surprised what you could make with what you got, man. I think you should experiment. If you have the means to record, I think you should experiment with it. I think that might be kind of cool. And yeah, absolutely. I think you should try it. Why Tuesday? I sing karaoke and love to sing songs from Journey and other rock songs from the '80s. Yeah, so '80. Obviously, I was not around in the '80s. I was born in 1993, so I'm 27 years old. I never really got into the music from the '80s, 70s, and '80s. So bands like Metallica, bands like Black Label Society, bands like even Ozzy Osbourne, and AC/DC, Led Zeppelin. I never got into those bands. Even even guys like Ronnie James Dio. I could never get into that style of metal. Yes, it is metal, and it was considered metal back then, but I could just personally couldn't. I always struggled to enjoy it. I turn on, I'm like, I don't enjoy this. And what it is for me, it's the style of vocals, it's the style of singing, and it was that kind of high pitch, almost operatic vibrato kind of sound of singing with those guys that kind of pushed me away from it. And I think a lot of that's because of what I grew up listening to. So like when I was younger, I grew up listening to bands like Godsmack and Tool, A Perfect Circle, and just even Disturbed. So that style of rock or hard rock really has a different tone vocally than those older style of metal bands. So I never really got into that. So like I listened to like Godsmack, A Perfect Circle, Disturbed, Mudvayne, System of a Down, and that was a completely different era of like hard rock and I guess new metal or metal. So then when I went back and I tried to listen to bands like Led Zeppelin, AC/DC, Black Label Society, Ozzy Osbourne, and stuff like that, it just, I couldn't get into it. I didn't enjoy it. Speaking of cello, have you heard Apocalyptica? Yeah, I love Apocalyptica. They're great. Obviously, they've had a lot of really good vocal features like Adam Grontier from 3 Days Grace, Corey Taylor. I know Amy Lee. I know they had Till Lindemann from Rammstein. So yeah, I have heard about. I haven't checked out them in probably a few years, if I'm being honest. So I'll have to go back and see if they've released new stuff. Passio, yes, I think on my own I can do a lot with that. Thank you for the encouragement. Absolutely, man. If you got the means to record and you can play instruments, I think you can find creative ways of making it work. If you have the ability, you can even program things. I mean, there's programs you can program guitars in, you can program whatever. I mean, experiment with it, be creative, man. I think it could be a lot of fun, especially if you have the ability to do that. I'd highly encourage you to do it. I wish I knew how to. I wish I knew how to play an instrument, man. I wish I did, but I remember trying to learn guitar once, and my patience flew out the window real quick, and I'm just like, all right, I'm done. But for some reason, vocals, I was able to be patient learning vocals. I don't know why, but I was able I was able to do it, which is crazy because my patience is usually not very good. But yeah, dude, absolutely, I definitely encourage you to absolutely. I'd love to hear it. If you get something, let me know. I think that'd be really cool. Gundam Edge, the Mortal Kombat movie soundtrack, and the Fear Factory song on there was my gateway to metal. That was early '90s. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Um. Wow. Yeah. Oh man, I was young when the when the original Mortal Kombat came out. Um. a funny story because I was a very little kid when Mortal Kombat was coming out came out. I think I maybe will had to watch it, a few years after I was born. But when I was a little kid, when Mortal Kombat's theme song would come on, I would run around the house and I would be jumping in the air and I'd be kicking in the air like I thought I was a ninja. I was pretty sure I was the most badass little kid you'd ever meet. I absolutely loved Mortal Kombat, and I did, and they're making a new Mortal Kombat movie right now, and it's going to be, I think, out in 2021 at some point, and you'll be able to watch it at HBO Max. So I'm excited to check it out. My inner kid wants to still run around, jump off the couch, and kick in the air, but I feel like I might pull a muscle or pull something and hurt myself. Socrates, they did a couple online concerts and released videos for an original song of theirs. Oh, okay, so they have done more recent stuff. I'll have to definitely check out some more of the Apocalyptica stuff then. Passio, I have no idea how to record, but I want to look into it. I just can't spend a lot of money for equipment and stuff at the moment. Yeah, dude, I completely understand that. Equipment can get super expensive. I mean, it's taken me a while just to be able to get the stuff that I have. I mean, like I said, I've been in the band for 8 years, and it's crazy. It's crazy to think that you're right. It does. It's very, very expensive. And when it comes to recording, I wish I could help you there. I'm so bad at it. I can do the basics of recording, like my vocal covers and recording vocals, but other than that, that's about all I got. And when it comes to like mixing, producing, and mastering, hell no. I could never do that, and the patience for that. Like I said, my patience isn't very good, so the tedium work and the tedious activities of having to mix and master, just I could never do that. I wish I could. I wish I had the patience, but I have, friends around me that I've seen do it, and they're making careers out of it, and the work that they put into that it's long and it's hard and it's very tedious. So mad respect to the people who are able to do that. Absolutely. But yeah, guys, I'm planning on doing a stream like this. I'd like to do one every Friday at the same time, 10 p.m. Just kind of hang out with you guys. Like I said, have a drink, chill, talk about music, and we'll talk about maybe some of the reaction videos I did that week. See what you guys think of them, if you guys got to see them. And just kind of really talk to you guys like this. I like getting to know you guys, getting to see kind of, where you're from, what your music taste is, what got you in music, because it looks like we have people of all ages in the chat, which is really cool because we have a lot of I guess different eras of music that we got into and we've listened to, and it's cool to share that, because at the end of the day, being into music is just a giant community. It's really cool. It brings people together, and I think that's really cool. But it can also tear people apart. So it's been really cool. I definitely appreciate you guys that have jumped on, kind of hung out and chatted with me and talked. Yeah, so prepare every Friday. We'll hang out and talk and chat, and hopefully we can build more people to join in, jump in the stream and talk, and we'll get stuff going. If this becomes a point where I'm gonna struggle keeping up with comments or anything, which I'm sure, I mean, it's possible, but if it gets to that point, well, I'll have to start maybe creating moderators for the stream, and just to make sure things kind of stay under control. Life experience is a safe term. You're right. That's a great, Socrates. Yeah, absolutely. We have a lot of people here with life experience. Some of that life experience may be longer than others, but we have a lot of people with life experience. That's great. Yeah, so I think I might just stick to getting better on the instruments for the time being, and I'm saving up for better cymbals at the moment. Yeah, absolutely, man. That's awesome. But if you ever do end up recording something or anything, I mean, I'd love to hear it. I like hearing music, and that's one thing I try to encourage people. Suggest. A lot of people like to suggest national bands, huge touring bands, but if there's a local band in your area, I don't care where you're from, and if they got music out there and you're like, hey, I think you should really check them out, let me know. I want to check out bands everywhere, because on top of just reacting to bands, I have a different kind of mindset as well, because I want to be able to. I look at as well, if I'm reacting to them, it's potentially I have 1,000 subscribers, right? So that's potentially 1,000 people that have never seen this band who now could be potentially exposed to them. So that's, in a way, it's a promotion sense for them too. And I like to, if I can spread newer bands at all and get them, even if it's 5 new fans for them, to me, that's really cool. And if I can help out in that way, that's really cool. So that's, what I enjoy. Gundam Edge. It's kind of crazy to me how bands have been able to release new albums while everything is shut down. Remote production sounds hard. I'm gonna be honest. It's really not too hard. It really, really isn't. Because, for example, the band that I do vocals for, Astral Black, we're in different states. We're in completely different states. And if you look on YouTube, there's a lot of bands that they do all of their stuff remotely, regardless, and then they actually come together, say, a week before their tour, and then they practice and rehearse, and then they go out on tour. So you'd be surprised. So remote production has been happening way before COVID hit. It may not seem that way, but it's because it's been brought to the light even more now because of COVID. So bands are having to find creative ways to get content to people, and a way to provide content is to, basically shoot little video sessions of them recording, But yeah, remote recording and remote production, it happens all the time, and it's really not too difficult. As long as the people in the band have access and the means to record, then it's really, really no issue. Because if you think about it, obviously in an ideal situation, a band sorry, I just lost my train of thought. An ideal situation, a band meets up at a studio. They have a set game plan. They track certain instruments on certain days, right? And there's an order to things, and that's really, in a band that's experienced and has the means to record by themselves, it's no different. If they have those means, they're going to track, say, they'll track their guitars, they'll do their scratch tracks, and then, they'll track final guitars, and then the drums will be tracked, and then everything will be tracked and put together. And a lot of times, then once the guitars and the drums and those basic tracks are tracked, they can just send those files over to their vocalist, who then tracks their scratch vocals. Once everything's rough and everything's recorded, all they have to do then is compile that and what is basically what they call stems, guitar stems, vocal stems, etc. They send those all over to their mixer, and the guy, or say producer, engineer, however you want to call them. They send all of that information directly over to that producer, and they mix and master it no different than if they were doing it in a studio. So for a lot of bands, the way they record, it really hasn't changed a lot. it's really being brought to light even more so because they're having to produce different styles of promotional content for their music. So that promotional content now are like studio updates, but quarantine updates, so you're seeing, it's kind of cool because you're like maybe an inside look at their home or an inside look at the that artist's life. So what's cool about that, though, it makes them seem more human. It makes them kind of bring it down to level. Yeah, he's a huge rock star. I'm a huge fan of him, but I watch these videos and he's just another dude. It brings a more human aspect out of it, I think. What we got here? Wow, didn't realize that. Yeah, absolutely. Duran Gray kept saying in interviews that nothing had changed for them in regards to the recording process because that's how they did it all along. Yeah, absolutely. A lot of bands, they find members from all over the place. Especially here in the United States, guys will come together and they'll record, they'll get on phone calls, they'll get on Zoom calls or video conferences, video chats, and they'll talk, and they'll just get in like a group chat, like on Facebook, and they'll send like, hey, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? And they're just always talking through there. Have you heard of the Swedish band Amaranth? Yes, I have. I have heard of Amaranth. I actually did a few. I did a few reactions to Amaranth, Socrates, and they were okay. I mean, they're cool. They're not. I wasn't a huge fan of them. They wrote catchy music. I think I reacted to a song. I think it's called "Viral." The only thing I wasn't a huge fan of with Amaranth was lyrically it was very, very repetitive. And what I mean by that is that they repeated a lot of lyrics and they extended the song length out to say 5-6 minutes, when if they didn't repeat those lyrics so many times, the length of that song would have been brought down to 3 minutes, and then to me would have made a much more solid sounding song. So that's one thing that, and then again, to preface this, guys, this is my opinion, doesn't mean it's right or wrong. I look at bands who extend a song out and they create repetitive lyrics like that. I look at it as lazy songwriting, because there's no need for a song to be 7 minutes long if you're just going to keep repeating the chorus over and over and over again. There's no need for it. And if instrumentally the song and the structure of that song was that long, as a writer and as a lyricist, I feel like you almost have like the creative duty to write something good. Don't just get lazy and copy and paste the chorus or copy and paste lines that you've already said before. So that's one thing that turns me off in a lot of bands, is that lyrically it's like solid, and then it just starts repeating, and it's like, well, the song didn't need to be 7 minutes long. It didn't need to be 6 minutes long. That song could have been 3 minutes and you'd have had a solid song. But again, that's my personal opinion. I look at very repetitive lyrics as sometimes kind of lazy songwriting, because I feel like, why couldn't you fill that with more lyrics, telling a story, or just I don't know, just going about it a different way, I suppose. So like bands that I really think write great lyrics are bands like one of my favorite bands that favorite lyricists would be the band Make Them Suffer. If you go through and you read their lyrics, they're really, really well written. I really enjoy listening to the music that they produce, and especially the lyrics. They're very emotional. They're performed very well. So I just think as a band, they're very solid. I share that opinion. Sometimes a repetition works if the feeling of the repetition is what the song wants to achieve. For example, the extended piano part in Why Japanese Art of Life. Or if the lyrics are concerned with repetition. Sure, that makes sense. Sure, and right, and I think there are exceptions to everything. I think there are you know, I guess, I don't know, a place in a song, that there's a place for it and everything, right? But I guess for me, it's mainly bands that X Japan. Okay, no, it's okay. X Japan. I've heard the name now 1,000 times in my comment section. I just haven't checked them out yet. Um, but again, no worries. I missed those reactions. I've only heard their cover of Sabaton's song 82nd all the way, so that's probably why I enjoyed it, because they didn't write the song. And I'm not saying that their songwriting is all awful. Their music is well done. It's really well done. Well, it's very, very well produced. The music videos are cool. You can tell they enjoy what they're doing. But for just that one particular song they reacted to is very repetitive. So it just kind of stood out to me that I was like, it feels like lazy songwriting, and that's not all of their music by any means. So I definitely don't want to push you away from checking them out. I definitely encourage you to go check out their other music, because if you like that one song, you'll probably still like their other music. I never want to push people away from bands or artists because of my personal opinion. Just because I don't like something doesn't mean that you guys won't. And I think a lot of people kind of misconstrue that and have a huge issue with that in some of my reaction videos. Because a lot of people get really defensive of bands that they like in those videos. And that's something that I always try to, I've tried to say before, is like, listen, these reaction videos are my genuine reaction. They're my opinion. That doesn't mean they're right or wrong. Doesn't mean that my opinion should influence you. It's just my personal opinion on it. But some people get very, very angry about it. But that's okay, right? And it's funny because it's crazy for me is that, with the type of music that I do is typically pretty heavy. Metal, deathcore, angry, screaming, driving music. And yet my, I look at my YouTube analytics, and about 60% of my audience is from Japan, and the music that they have me check out is it's all Japanese rock music. I never thought in a million years, if I did a channel like this, that I'd only be listening to like Japanese rock music or rock bands, and not be listening to music that I'm used to. Passia, you should check out The Art of Life if you have the time. It's 30 minutes long. One of the greatest songs ever written, in my opinion. Interesting. What about Dragon Force? Okay. I think Dragon Force was ruined for me. And that's okay, Bassi. I can definitely check them out if it's clean singing. But Socrates, I think the band Dragon Force was ruined to me because of the video game Guitar Hero. And their guitarist Herman Lee is an incredible guitarist, but I think I never got into them too because of the vocals. They had that I don't know the best way to explain it. It may sound stupid when I explain it. They had that kind of sound that came from Dio's era, Brian James Dio, AC/DC. I never enjoyed that style of singing. Instrumentally, they're phenomenal, and I respect the talent, absolutely. Gundam Edge, I'd rather have a real reaction than a fake one. Yeah, absolutely, and that's kind of what I go about, or at least I try to go about. I see some of these reactors on here. Who they listen to it, and their reaction is so dramatic and overreacted that I look at it and go, I've never once jumped out of my chair listening to a song and started stomping my feet or punching things or throwing things. And I'll never do that. For one, that's not my personality type. But I just watch some of these, and it's almost like, how can you do that and not be embarrassed? How can you? But they're doing it because it gets people's reactions, right? That's what people want to see. People want to see. Well, I'm not saying everybody, but a lot of people appeal to it. There's an audience, a very large audience that likes. they want to see somebody react to their favorite music and only have a good reaction. And I think that's what a lot of people, they run into my channel sometimes and they don't like or they get angry about, is because I'm not here to only have a good reaction. It's a reaction channel for a reason, not a positive reaction channel. I want to listen to music and be able to go, I didn't like that song. And I haven't done that yet, actually. I try to always pick out something positive from the music. I never go, man, that band sucked. Because I don't think any band sucks. They're obviously all talented musicians that are good at their craft. But I may not like it. But some people don't like that. People want to watch a reaction video and they want you to bow down. They want to be like, oh my God, these bands are the best thing ever. Here's God, here's this band. So I think some people, it's kind of like a shock to them when they watch me and I'm not jumping up or freaking out, making noises and saying stupid shit all the time. Because it's not me. It's all good, and I appreciate the honest response. It's just getting a feel for your taste, so you can get some good requests. Yeah, no, and I appreciate it. But also, just because I like something certain, don't think you can't request other things. Because at the end of the day, I want to be able to be open minded and check out a whole bunch of different things. Like, if it wasn't for me doing these YouTube videos and these reactions, I would have never have listened to Love Bites. I would have never have listened to Bandmade. I would have, never have listened to those Japanese rock bands. I would have just, in a sense, cool for me because it allows me to branch out and check out these other genres, because I've always, most of the time I'm always looking up metal. It's always deathcore, heavy, angry music. Pasio, okay, I think you might have quote-unquote problems with X Japan's vocals, too. It has the typical 80s sound, but that's not a problem. Everyone has their own preferences. Sure, and I may not like the vocals, but, like I said, I'll still find positive elements about it. And I'm still going to check them out. I'm going to make sure to write them down, though. Exity Reborn. Hey, could you react to someone in my city? His name is Lil Xavi, and he's really good. He lives near me, and I've seen him a couple times. He's not known, but definitely worth checking out. Lil Xavi. Okay, is he rap or give me a little information on him. I definitely check him out. Does he have a music video? Does he have digitally recorded music? Absolutely, I can definitely check him out. I'll write him down. He makes melodic music. Okay. Yeah, he has a song called Voice. All right, let me write that down. Cool. Yeah, absolutely. I can absolutely check it out. So far tonight, just to kind of go over this list with you guys, I have written down Unleash the Archers, Igor from France, Shepherd's Reign, Suki, I'm going to mess this up again. Suki Kyo, I probably messed that up. I'm sorry. Lisa X, Undead Corporation, Lady Baby, X Japan, and now Little Xavi. So I've definitely, I've got what? How many was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait, I just completely did not count correctly. So there's 9 right there. He lives in my area in New York. Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. I can definitely check it out. I like melodic. Absolutely. Donnie EA. Can you react to songs? Well, can you be a little bit more specific? What songs? I absolutely can react to songs. New Spiritbox was released tonight as well. Oh, okay. Awesome. Yeah, I did definitely dig some Spiritbox. Courtney LaPlante is a great vocalist. Wow, finally someone requests. Wow, okay. Yeah, I'm familiar with them, and I'll definitely check them out. Obviously, I can't react to it live, so if anybody's just so everybody knows, unfortunately, with these live streams on YouTube, if I try to play any type of music or pull up any type of music, YouTube has a fit and they copyright strike the video almost immediately, and the stream gets shut down. So the purpose of these streams is just kind of hang out, get to know you guys, talk music with you, and learn more songs to check out. So yeah, I can definitely write that down, Donnie. Give me a second. Socrates, you want angry deathcore metal? Try Slaughter Prevail. I believe they are Russian. I've only heard their song Demolisher. Yeah, so that's Alexander Shikolai, Socrates. He is Russian, absolutely. He actually started on YouTube. He got basically his start on YouTube doing vocal covers, and he has one of the meanest sounding tones that I've ever heard. Has one of the meanest sounding tones I've ever heard. He's got a fantastic vocal strength. That projection is incredible, especially in Demolisher. That's his vocals. There's no pitch shifting in his vocals. It's incredible. Yeah, very, very familiar. Slaughter to Prevail. Exidy Reborn, the dude's song I said to react to, isn't copyrighted at all. I think it's only on YouTube and SoundCloud. Oh, I'm not worried about doing reaction video, because most of the reaction videos, they may get copyright strike, but a lot of the times they're still public. I just can't monetize them. I'm talking about doing it on a live stream. I'm never gonna do any type of the Deathcore Bieber. Yeah, if you want to look at it that way. I'm just talking about I won't do any live reactions on YouTube just because of that. It's one of those things that it's not worth it. I'd rather chat with you guys and hang out and find new music to listen to and kind of get to know you guys. But no, absolutely, I'll definitely check them out. Like I said, I'm writing all these new ones down. So these are for videos. They're not necessarily for videos, but if people want to suggest more music that they want me to react to, then I'm going to write it down. So like I have a notepad here that I've been writing bands that I haven't checked out before, haven't heard before, that you guys have suggested. I put them down, but for this is actually the first live stream I've done on my channel. The plan for these is to do it every Friday at 10 p.m. It's really just I want to connect with the people who subscribed to my channel, or people who maybe haven't subscribed to my channel and stumbled across it. Purpose is just to kind of I have people on my channel that are from all over the world, so to me that's really cool. So I want to talk to people from other countries and kind of learn about their culture, learn about their music, learn about your music taste, learn about people who subscribe to me's music taste, learn about your favorite bands, maybe your story of how you got into music, what got you into metal, what got you into rap, what got you into whatever. It's cool to have kind of just a chill, relaxed conversation with you guys. That's kind of like the plan, and I'm hoping to kind of it'll help grow my channel, and it'll kind of have that personal touch to my subscribers. That's kind of the biggest thing for me, is like wanting to have some type of personal connection to my subscribers, and this is kind of a way to do it, because I'm not able to respond to every comment on my YouTube videos. So doing these live streams could be a great way to do that for me, and I think that's cool. And who knows, every Friday this might continue to grow and more people might show up, and that's, I might get to the point where I'm going to need to create moderators. So if people have been around since, this stream, I can start creating moderators to help me out with those streams. That's kind of the plan. I want to grow my little YouTube channel, grow my little community, and hang out with you guys, even if it doesn't grow much bigger. Just doing this, and for the last hour and 40 minutes, I've gotten to sit here, drink, have a drink, and just talk about music, and nothing better than that, just to be able to relax and just hang out and talk about music. Socrates, this group has been around for a while, but have you heard of Psychostick? Yes, Psychostick is hilarious. What's it? I Love Socks. They did that song, I Love Socks, with the dog. I love socks, nom nom nom, socks. Yeah, Psychostick is great. They're hilarious. Definitely a parody band. And maybe not even a parody. I wouldn't say parody, because they're not really parodying anything, but they are in a sense. Beer song, yes. Psycho Sticks is definitely, they're a lot of fun to check out. Definitely a lot of fun to check out. But I definitely say, for a first live stream, this is definitely a success. Like I said, I honestly didn't expect anybody to jump in. Amber, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. How you doing? Tim, by the way, searching Lisa X is mostly instrumental covers. I'll find a place to link Lisa X Band, which has vocals, but only 2 videos. Also originals, which, like Polyphia, they toured Japan with and because of her. Okay, cool. I can only count to 4. That's okay. But yeah, welcome to the stream, Amber. How you doing? Streams mainly just kind of hanging out, sit back, relax, talk some music, tell me about your favorite bands, tell me what got you, into the particular music that you like. It's all about just kind of relaxing and kind of chilling and kind of hanging out. And this is actually this is the first stream that I've decided to do on my channel. And I'm planning to now do it every Friday at 10 p.m. Do it at least for 2 hours every Friday. Just kind of hang out. Doing pretty good this evening. How are you doing? Enjoying a live stream, getting a yeah, man, I can't read. Enjoying your live stream and getting any recommendations? Yeah, absolutely, Amber. I've gotten about 10 new bands to check out and react to at least, or create videos on. So I've definitely been getting some different bands, different songs, and I'm looking forward to checking them out. So it's been cool. Absolutely. I apologize. I'm like exhausted because I've since I've started a new job, I've been in bed. I would have been in bed like an hour ago, so I'm like a zombie right now. I'm like, I can do it. I can make it. I can stay awake. I tend to listen to a lot of musical genres. I'm not really picky when it comes to music. Sometimes I have to be in certain moods for music, but I assume that's everyone as well. Sure. Yeah, I think for a lot of people, depending on and this might sound silly, depending on your personality type, music is very much a reflection of the mood that they're in. So some people use music as a way to emphasize or explain a mood that they're currently feeling or experiencing or feeling. Like some people listen to metal because they're in a pissed off mood. Some people will listen to a sad song because they're sad, that kind of thing. I wish I could say I did that. And I think there's some times where, I can definitely relate to that, where I'll listen to something more mellow, but I swear it's always, for me, I can throw metal on and put metal in my headphones and I can lay down and go to sleep. That's just me. That's my personality type. I like metal 24/7. And it doesn't bother me. There's never a point where I'm like, man, I need to take a break from metal. I just can't handle it right now. I'm always like, I want to listen to metal. I want to wake up and eat it for breakfast, or So it's like it's never been a mood thing for me for metal. But I absolutely understand where it is for a lot of people. I kind of do the opposite. I mostly listen to happy stuff when I'm sad to get my mood again, and to angry/sad music when I'm feeling good. You kind of use it to combat your emotions then. But that's just talking about the sound, not the lyrics. Sure. So you're using the tempo, the actual structure of the music to kind of combat how you're feeling. So you're like, you want to try to turn your mood. It's kind of like when somebody's in a crappy mood and they watch a funny movie. So absolutely, I can definitely see that. Everyone's got their little a way of kind of going about it. and that's cool. And that's what makes it so unique, is that everybody has a different personality. Everybody has their own way of listening to music and finding a way to connect to that music based on their mood, how they maybe how they're feeling, how their day's going, or just what they enjoy. And that's what to me is great about music. It's such it's just a almost like healing mechanism for a lot of people. Have you checked out of Leo? I can't pronounce that last name. More. Okay, let's try it. Mora Chioli's covers. I even though I can't pronounce his last name to save my life, I have listened to his music. I've checked out his covers. He does a great job. That dude's very, very talented. And it's cool. I think it's Frog Leap Studios, if I'm not mistaken. He's incredibly talented. I mean, he's playing drums, doing vocals, guitar, you name it. It's pretty incredible. Amber, I do that sometimes. Slow ballad songs will wake me up. If I'm in a cleaning mood, I'll listen to whatever. If I'm pissed off for some reason, I'll listen to heavier music, which helps me calm down. His YouTube channel is Frog Leap Studio. Amber, there are also times when I have no idea what to listen to, and that's the worst, because if I pick something to listen to, I then realize I'm not in the mood for that genre. Healing mechanism is a great description. Cool. I'm glad that helps. It definitely is, man. If you, and for a lot of, and not for everybody, but for a lot of people it is. A lot of people, it's definitely a healing mechanism. It's definitely something that, they put on their favorite artist, their favorite song, or something that they really relate to. It can help them get through crappy times. It can help them push through, or help them maybe continue a happy mood, or whatever. So I think music is such a powerful thing. But yeah, absolutely. When I have no idea what to listen to, I listen to Psy. Psy seems always right somehow. I'm not familiar with that. So typically, because I use Spotify, I have a love-hate relationship with Spotify, because I think, one, Spotify is a great way for bands to gain exposure, but two, bands don't make hardly shit for money on Spotify. So it's a love-hate relationship, because Spotify kind of treats bands like garbage, but at the same time, Spotify is an amazing platform to find new bands and be exposed to new bands and have new bands, gain exposure. So for me, I've listened to Spotify so much, it builds my Discover Weekly. So every Monday I get a new playlist. It's called Discover Weekly, and I'll sit there and I'll listen to it. And if I like a song, I heart it. It goes to my like songs. If I don't, I dislike it, and it kicks it out. And to me, that's been actually, surprisingly enough, it's been a great way to find a lot of new bands. So I've really enjoyed that. And it's weird, because I typically don't really have to be in a mood to listen to certain, to metal. And maybe I do, and I'm just not thinking that I'm in a particular mood, and I'm just subconsciously just going, nah, not right now. Okay, this sounds better. What are you drinking tonight? Tonight I am drinking Captain and Coke. So just a very simple remedy. So this is, what is this? Let's see. I probably can't show it on screen because of the labels. So this is Captain Morgan 100 proof spiced rum. So this is what I'd like to say, one of my favorites. I love rum. This is why you get a lot of J metal requests, because you've already heard most of the English bass metal. Yeah, and you're probably right. I've listened to a lot of bands here in the States, because people try to hit me a lot of times with bands, and like, have you heard this band? I'm like, yeah, no, I've been listening to them for years. I'm like, really? No way, I thought they were underground. So you're probably right, Socrates. I wish I could find more super heavy metal bands in Japan, like Deviloof, for example. Deviloof is great. I think they're heavy as hell, and it's a lot of fun to watch. Same with Mephisto by Jaluka. That song is incredible. It's heavy. It's got everything in it. Oh, they can be described as avant-garde black metal. That's interesting. One of the leading bands in the genre. They formed in 1990. Okay, so they've been around about 30 years. Wow. Razio Kitsune. I apologize. I probably completely said that wrong. Good morning. 1:43 in the morning in Brazil. Wow. Well, good morning, Brazil. How are you doing? What kind of music do you like? It definitely sounds interesting, though. Avant-garde black metal? Huh. So one thing that's always kind of pushed me off the black metal are the vocal styles, because it's kind of like Cradle of Filth's vocal style. It's that very whispery, wispy, scratchy tone that's usually elongated. um, but I'll definitely check it out. Can be pronounced as Kitasuni. Oh God. Oh boy. So is the T pronounced like like it is in English, or am I completely just ruining that? Oh, I gotta stretch. Nay. Okay. So it's Kitasune? Kitasune. Maybe. Did I get it? Um, I would guess baby metal fan with Kitasune. What is your favorite metal band made in Japan so far? My name is it Dane? My favorite metal band so far, Japanese metal band that I've heard, it's got to be Deviloof for sure. Deviloof is deathcore. They're a visual K deathcore band, and they're heavy, they're mean, they're angry sounding, and instrumentally incredibly talented. So Deviloof for sure. Um, the vocals of Psy are more like an additional instrument, often very low in the mix. Interesting. Okay, yeah, it's like the English. It's like two, but instead of a W, it's Keats. Man, I'm gonna completely kill Kitasune. Kitasune? Maybe. I'm learning, or trying to at least. So there's a quick question for you guys too for future streams. Like this is kind of like the experiment stream for me, guys. So the first stream I did this kind of last second. I posted about it like maybe a few hours before I went live. Obviously, I want to do this every Friday, so I'll mention it in the videos, and I'm going to be streaming every Friday at 10 p.m. What do you think of the background that I have? Do you prefer this, where it's a more natural background, or would you prefer that? I can't really see it, but back there, that blue there, if you flip it around, it's actually a green screen. Would you prefer I sat with the green screen and have a more plain background? Where does Maximum the Hormone place on your J metal list? I think Maximum the Hormone is a lot of fun. I think they're very talented. They have an incredible stage presence. They're very energetic. Um, I enjoy them. I could never really get into them like I get into a lot of the heavier bands. And that might again just be the vocals. But I think I can't really say that I can place them on a list because I don't know enough Japanese metal bands to be like, yeah, they rank here, and I don't think it would be fair to put them on a list. To be honest, I love your background. It's so intimate, like a fireside feeling. Well, I have a kind of a fire back there. I could try to like sit at an angle over here, but then it just might look weird. Background looks nice and homey. Cool. So I'll probably keep it like this then. I appreciate it. I wonder, have you heard of GACT? I probably said that wrong too. I'm just gonna start lining up all the wrong things I say. GACKT, GACT. I've never heard of them. I can't even say it correctly. I'll write it down. GACKT. This list of bands that I'm getting to listen to tonight is getting quite long, and that's fantastic. So I have to ask, for those of you currently hanging out and commenting, are you just for just so I know, just are you guys all actually subscribed to my channel, or did you kind of come across it from just like a suggested video? I'm just curious, who am I talking to? Am I talking to my subscribers, or am I talking to people just stumbled across the video? I'm used to pronouncing it the Japanese way. So, Amber, are you Japanese yourself? Do you speak Japanese? Because clearly I don't. We all know that I don't. And if you go back and watch, if you go watch any of my reactions to any of the Japanese bands that I've reacted to, I butcher those names. I absolutely butcher. I butchered those names, and if you read the comments, there's always people in there giving me a Japanese grammar lessons and like pronunciation, and like you got to say it like this, and you've got to say it like that. I've been since I commented on your Kokia video. Okay, yeah, awesome. Maximus, welcome to the stream. I'm not Japanese, but I can speak. That's awesome. That's cool. No, that's definitely really cool. So it sounds like a lot of you guys are subscribers, which to me is fantastic. That's awesome. You've been learning Japanese for 2 years. That's really cool. That's really cool. So Paso, you sound like you sound like a pretty cool dude. I mean, you play cello. You said you play drums. You've been taking singing lessons. You're speaking Japanese. Like, that's awesome. You sound like a pretty diverse person. That's really cool. So I mean, honestly, like I said, it's cool. I wasn't expecting the turnout that I did, if I'm being 100% honest. This was kind of a last second thing. I'm like, I'll do it and see if anybody shows up, to see if anybody's actually interested in hanging out. Maybe just kind of you're a girl. Oh man, I'm sorry. Well, you sound like a pretty cool chick then. See, I gotta be careful with that because I don't know. So I apologize. But yeah, I was just kind of doing this as an experiment to see, just kind of see if anybody would jump in, say hi, and just kind of see what people thought about doing a live stream and just kind of hanging out. And so far, the turnout's been really cool. The people jumping in, that you guys have been super interactive and talking. And some of you have been here this whole we're going on 2 hours and 15 seconds. And some of you have been here this whole time hanging out, talking, which I think is awesome. So I really appreciate that. I can't express that enough, that you guys are hanging out and talking. Frankly, it's been a lot of fun. And if I can end a work day every Friday and come and hang out, have a drink, and talk music, then I think that's awesome. And I'd love to do that. So I think going forward, just based on this, I'd like to I'm probably going to start doing this every Friday at 10 p.m. Expect me to go live, guys, and we can come, just hang out, chat, and talk about music, and hopefully we can keep growing it. Invite, if you know people who might be interested in just coming and hanging out and chatting, just bring them in. Grab a drink for yourself. It's Friday, grab a drink, come hang out and chat music. I've been to Japan, but can only count to 10. Thank me. I'm sure I sound better than I am. That's okay. It's okay. I can't play cello. I can't speak Japanese, and I can't play the drums. So you've already able to do three things that I can't do. If you can count to 10, you can count to everywhere. Yes, I can't wait till it's Friday. I appreciate that. YouTube real estate. Um, I've been subscribed to your channel for 2 months because of Love Bites. I'm managing a page for fans of the band here in my country, and I was looking for content for my Instagram for fans. Oh, awesome. That's really cool. Very cool. I'm trying to think of one or two songs by Gecht I would recommend. Sure, yeah. I mean, even I could always, if you have a particular song, I can write it down and I can definitely do like a reaction video for it. I can't write English. Listen, I can't either, and that's supposed to be my native. Like that's the language I'm supposed to know, and I'm not good at it. You're probably better at writing English and speaking English than I am. Let's be honest. So what's it like managing a fan page for a band? How does that work? I just out of most Americans can't. You're right. I mean that's it hurts a little, but you're right. You're right, Socrates. But yeah, what's please correct me if I'm saying your name wrong. Is it Raziel? Because Raziel? I apologize. Yeah, what's it like running running a fan page for a band? I mean, that's a lot of dedication with, to me, really little reward, right? I mean, you're not getting paid for that. You're not get. I mean, I'm just out of curiosity. Like, what are the benefits of like running a fan page? Like, what would make you want to run a fan page for the band? Just you like them that much that you want to make sure their music gets out there and it gets shared? Is that the reasoning, or like I'm genuinely curious. Maximus, I'm dyslexic, so I struggle. Well, that's fair. I mean, but that's a fair. That's fair to say that you struggle because you're dyslexic. I'm not dyslexic and I struggle. I don't have an excuse. Do you know any rock bands from Brazil other than Angra? Oh, P.S. I don't write English well nor speak it, but I can read. I understand almost everything you say. You say you don't write it well, but you wrote it very, very well there. Oh, I can't speak English at all. I don't get much practice, and when I do, I get nervous and butcher it. Do I know any rock band? I don't think. I don't think I know. I've never even heard of what you just suggested there, Angra. I've never I've never heard of them either. No, I don't think I know any Brazilian rock bands, metal bands. Uh, I think you do a great job of speaking English and writing. I think you do great. I think you would sound fine speaking English, Passio, and I think you do fine writing it as well. Socrates, I don't play any instruments, but my wife plays piano and violin. She loves Apocalyptica, and I've shown her Unlucky Morpheus and Fuki. Is it Commune? Hopefully, I said that right. And Amber, okay, one that I would recommend would be Redemption by Gact. I think you enjoy the lyrics. If you look up the translated version, as I remember you saying you didn't like the repetitiveness, right? Of Kokia's song that you reacted to. Yes, yeah, you're right. That's good memory. Absolutely good memory. Is Sepultura is Brazilian? That I did not know. Okay, so I need to write down the song Redemption. Okay, so yeah, you just looked up. So I guess I do know a Brazilian band, Sepultura. Interesting. I was never a huge fan of them. They do what? Roots, Bloody Roots, right? I recently heard a band called Seven Crows, which are from Brazil. Seven Crows. What kind of music was that? Is that something I should check out? Seven Crows. But why not like 8 or 9 crows? Maybe even 10. Why seven? That's what I want to know. Why specifically 7 crows? That's great. Yes, I use Google Translator to write. Ahoy! Blessed be the technology. My name is taken from the game Soul Reaver on PS2, and yes, Sepultura is from Brazil. Soul Reaver, huh? What is that? Let's look it up. Soul Reaver. Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver. So, Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver is an action adventure video game developed by Crystal Dynamics and published by Eidos Interactive. It was released for the PlayStation and PC in 1999 and Dreamcast in 2000. Huh. Interesting. Very interesting. So like I guess that maybe that brings up a question. So are a lot of you so are you guys all you know obviously you might be a gamer, so do you guys all like enjoy gaming or video games or playing, do you have a particular style of game you guys like playing, or is it more so like you're not a big gamer and you're just like, nah, screw that, no games? I have no idea why seven. Why are there 7 dwarves? But they make progressive metal. That's fair. Well, let's you know what, let's look that up. You know what? Now I'm curious. Now I'm curious. Why were there 7 dwarves? I need to know the answer. If anybody knows that question, the answer to that question, please let us know. Maximus says Angra were big in Japan, and Unlucky and Morpheus are very influenced by them. Um, they even did a tribute to the singer a year after he died. Okay, it's an addiction, gaming for me. Well, Amber, what games do you like to play? Is there a particular genre do you like to play? Do you like to play RTSs, RPGs, first-person shooters? Is there something that you could specify that would be your addiction? I find it hard to play any games now, not enough time. Sure, sure, absolutely. But so, hypothetically, if you had time, Gundam, would you play games and what would you play? I know we're kind of getting off top of music here, but I'm just kind of learning about you guys. I'm also trying to figure out why there's 7 dwarves. I can't play first-person shooters due to them giving me migraines. I tend to enjoy RPGs a lot more. Sure, sure. What are your favorite? Is there particular RPGs that you like the most? Like traditional role-playing games or RPGs such as like Skyrim or the Elder Scrolls franchise, Fallout franchise, or more traditional role-playing? I'm still honestly I'm still looking to try to figure out why 7 dwarves. By the way, I'm not Japanese. I'm from the UK, but been to Japan twice and love the place. Awesome. Okay. I wish I could say that I've gotten to travel. The most out of country that I've ever been was the Bahamas. I would love to travel to Europe. I'd love to travel to Japan. I think it'd be cool. Maybe one day. Maybe one day. I really enjoyed the Final Fantasy series. Laughing face from Passio. Gundam. I enjoy RPGs and man, I need glasses. Metroid. Wait, what is that? Metroid Venus? I could probably just murdered that. Last games I played were like Final Fantasy VII and Remake and Hollow Knight. I've heard of Hollow Knight. Final Fantasy Tactics, my precious RPG. Final Fantasy games are a blast. Wow. So it seems like a very the consensus here is Final Fantasy. You guys are going to hate me. I have never played Final Fantasy. Not a single Final Fantasy game. And just like that, I lost all my viewers. I stream on Twitch and I play RPG and first-person shooter games. Awesome, awesome. I'm not really into playing video games, and that's okay. Disowned. I knew it was happening. Officially disowned. It's okay. You play cello, you play the drums, you're singing, you're learning Japanese. I'm not doing any of those. So I play games. There's nothing wrong with that. I also enjoyed Resident Evil series. Yeah, I always thought Resident Evil was cool. They always did a good job with those games, but there is a billion of them, like Resident Evil. And then there's Biohazard, which was what they were calling it as well. I remember playing Final Fantasy VII on my broken PlayStation. Interesting. Whoops, language, my bad. That's okay. That's okay. I probably just won't read it out loud. I raged a lot when the game froze and it came out by mistake. That hatred. That's okay. That's fair. I understand. Games can make you very, very angry. All right, guys. So I'm going to read you the history of the Seven Dwarves to see if we can figure out why seven. Because I'm interested. Move microphone. Wait a minute. Maybe I don't have to. Okay. So first of all, I'm an RPG addicted girl. I'm suffering in Resonance of Fate. Has anyone there played this? It's one of the most hardcores. I don't think I've ever heard of that game. But I like the graphics. Final Fantasy, I'm assuming, and Maximus. There are 7 doors because Disney made a film with 7. The old stories have 6 or 8. Disney's just got to ruin everything, don't they? Why has Disney got to ruin things? They took the Grimm fairy tales, which are great, like horror stories almost, and they're like, let's make them happy, and then we'll make little kids love them and set terrible examples for these kids so they can live out their lives believing in a fantasy of their white knight and of perfect women and perfect men. They should have shown the real ones of the Grimm fairy tales, so then you can have a realistic experience. Doesn't surprise me, Disney twisting things. Those buttheads. So Resonance of Fate, I've never heard of that before. Now I'm gonna look it up. So because I don't have to look up the dwarves anymore. Okay, here we go. Resonance of Fate is a role-playing video game developed by Tri-Ace and published by Sega for the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. It was released in January 2010 in Japan and March 2010 in Western territories. So this was primarily, sounds like a Japanese game. Yeah, it's a disgrace with the day with the Little Red Riding Hood. It was such a nice tale of cannibalism and rape. Oh, man. When you put it that way, that's fair. Oh, man. Don't get me started with Disney, especially living in Orlando. That sucks. You should just say living in Florida. Give them a reality check. Start young so they know what to expect in life. There are no consequences for actions and all of that. You just have to look at the story of Pocahontas to see how much they twist things. Yeah, that's fair. So you're telling me Pocahontas isn't a true story? Whatever. So did you know that Pocahontas was a Native American woman notable for her association with the colonial settlement at Jamestown, Virginia? She was the daughter of Powhatan, the paramount chief of a network of tributary tribes in the Tecumseh? I'm not even going to try to read that and embarrass myself. Encompassing the Tidewater region of Virginia. That. That's fair. What was that noise? Hearing noises. Okay. Did you know she was a child? What? She was... What? Weird. I can't believe there's so much information. Pocahontas was born in Werowocomoco. I can't pronounce this. But not in Disney's world. Of course not. Werowocomoco, Virginia. Wow, what a weird... That's a real place? It is. No, it wasn't. It's not anymore. Now it's in Gloucester, Virginia. Werowocomoco. That's where Pocahontas was born, guys, just in case you were wondering. But she died in 1617 in Gravesend, in the United Kingdom. So she died out by you, Maximus. And she's buried at the St. George's Church in Gravesend. Have you ever been there? That bubble of protection Disney lives in and spreads to children. Disney's a poison. Okay, this is funny. What? So, top stories regarding Pocahontas was from 1 day ago. Okay? The actor who voiced Disney's Pocahontas was arrested twice in 3 days by Southwest Ohio police. So this woman who apparently voiced Pocahontas lives in my state and was arrested twice in 3 days by this last week apparently. Actor Irene Bedard Wilson, who is 57 years old, was first arrested by police in Beaver Creek on Saturday, and then again on Monday, according to police reports. Nice. Message retract. Okay. No, it's a bit away from me. Oh, okay. Okay. But hey, now you know, Maximus, that if you ever wanted to go visit where Pocahontas is buried, you can. It's funny how things just kind of start chaining off into just craziness. We went from music to video games to Disney, Pocahontas, and now I'm reading a story about how the voice actor of Pocahontas was arrested. Or their story of Hercules making Hera and Zeus a loving couple, leaving out that they were brother and sister and Hera was not Hercules' mom. Yeah, that's fair. You would think that if they were going to make a story surrounding Greek mythology, that they would at least tell it correctly. All fairy tales films are a scam. I prefer the Brothers Grimm tales. I will read to my sons or daughters one day. Oh, Lord. I don't like Disney at all. The only movie I kind of like is Fantasia. I think I've seen Fantasia once. Try to find a good copy, though they have been rewritten 1,000 times. Fair enough. So if anybody was wondering, though, she got the voice actor for Pocahontas was arrested for domestic violence and assault and disorderly conduct, resisting arrest, and criminal damaging. Oh. Pocahontas is out there doing crimes. That's a shame. Well, they call it edited. How about with the fact that Zeus would have fun with everybody else, which didn't make Hera all that happy. Man, this chat has really gone off the rails, and I think I have myself to blame for that. This is the best of random conversations. Subject flow like stock market graphs, like this. No, that's great. No, it's great. It's definitely great. I definitely appreciate all you guys coming and hanging out, and just regardless if it's music, just hanging out and you guys are getting along. You guys are talking to each other, and so that's definitely cool. And so I appreciate you guys hanging out in the stream. So I would say I'll probably go for another 10 minutes. We'll make it 12:30 a.m. my time because I am tired and I need to sleep. So I'll probably go for another 10 minutes here, guys. And then I will call it quits for tonight. But I want to say I appreciate all of you guys hanging out and coming out to the stream. I honestly, like I kind of mentioned a few times, I didn't expect anybody to really jump in and be so responsive. So the fact that you guys is awesome. So I definitely, I do want to say that I appreciate it. You guys have been great. And like I said, we'll plan every Friday. We'll come hang out 10 p.m. grab a drink, come just chat music. If you've heard a new song that week or whatever, if you just want to come hang out and chat, and we'll go off the rails again. Maybe we'll talk about some more Disney. Who knows? But like I said, I'm gonna end the stream in about 10 minutes, so we got 10 minutes left. Well, if you think about it, Disney does have music in their movies, so we're not that far off topic. I mean, if you want to connect it that way, sure. And so do video games, right? Yes, but do they play metal? That's the real question. Socrates knows what to ask. Do they play metal? That is true. In the Japanese version of the Plagues, Prince of Egypt is the most badass Disney song ever. Japanese version of the Plagues. I'm gonna write that down because now I want to hear it. Japanese version of what is Prince of Egypt? Do I have to write that specifically? Let's see. Japanese version of Plagues, Prince of Egypt. I think I found it. I probably can't play that on stream. That it's Disney, so I will get ruined real quick. I should partake of herbs less. Disney had some pretty songs. I don't know Disney very well. And other than the stuff that I kind of grew up watching, like 101 Dalmatians, Beauty and the Beast, of course. I'm drawing a blank, but yeah, Gundam DMCA. I know immediately. But but I'm being more educated on Disney stuff because thanks to my girlfriend. She really makes sure that I'm up to date with Disney. She loves her Disney movies. Can I recommend a song for you to react to in a band here in Brazil? Of course. You don't have to ask. You don't have to ask to recommend a song. Just throw it in there and just say, "Hey, check this song out." You don't have to ask. I grew up on it, which is why. No, that's fair. Yeah, no, like I grew up on there was select Disney movies that I had watched. If Disney blocked you, at least it would be at the end. Yeah, absolutely. My kids used to have the films and watch them all the time. Yeah, I grew up watching some Disney. Like I remember one of my favorite. I don't know if I don't think it was Disney, but maybe it was. Let's see. Because they made a whole bunch of movies with it. I just don't remember because it was based on a real story. It wasn't Disney, but it was an animated. Maybe it was. I don't remember, but So there's a movie called Balto. It's about a Siberian husky that was a sled dog. Who became famous, and they made an animated movie about him. I'm not sure if Disney did it or not, but I remember watching that all the time. And cool enough, actually, though, it was the dog actually died in Cleveland, where I'm from. Be careful with the sound. We'll take strike. Yeah, absolutely. But you can absolutely recommend it. Having kids, dude, I have that on VHS still. Yeah, when I was little, my grandmother, she loved that. She loved watching that with me, and it's based on a true story, which was always really cool. Um, but for those of you who don't know what DMCA is, real quick, just to bring that up, that's the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. So basically, that's surrounding copyright of music and the the owning of intellectual property of music too. So what that basically means is that my stream could potentially be shut down if I'm playing music that I don't own. And that's kind of what that basically, long and short of it. DMC equals bad news for reaction. Yeah, absolutely. The good thing though about reaction videos, and the bad thing too, is that um, there can be copyright claims and then there's copyright strikes. So a copyright strike means that that company just wants to basically just remove your video completely, and they want to put a strike against you, like you really did something super bad. And on YouTube, if you get 3 strikes, basically 3 strikes, you're out. They'll delete your channel. You can be banned from YouTube. However, typically most of the time you don't run into that a lot because there's the amount of people on YouTube doing reaction videos is so large, and most reactions are protected under the fair use law. So basically, fair use means you're reacting to a music video, you're critiquing it, you are making it kind of your own video. You're not just re-uploading the music. You're not just re-uploading the video and just letting people watch it at a different avenue, essentially. So what's good about doing the reaction videos is that you have that opportunity. If they do copyright strike it, you can dispute that claim under the fair use law, and they've even actually added a section in that dispute area for reaction videos specifically. And typically, your video will get unblocked within a few days. But it is kind of a pain in the ass because usually the most views you get are like right after you post a video. My favorite animated movie is Watership Down. I used to watch that 100 times when I was little. I don't think I've ever heard of that. Venomous featuring Fernanda Lira and May. I can't pronounce that correctly. Nothing to Say. Cover of Angra with a new skin. The 2 vocalists are ridiculous. Okay, so Venomous. Let me write this down real quick. Lyra and May. Okay, cool. I got that written down so that way I don't miss it. Watership Down. Music I really enjoyed, even though the movie was dark and gave me nightmares as a child. I really enjoyed it, but it gave me nightmares. Have you done Galmet Zero yet? A female Japanese death metal band. I don't think I have. I'll write that one down as well. I don't think I've done any Galmet. And I may mispronounce that. I may have just mispronounced that as well. I think I have to watch it again. It's been some time. Somebody's filter didn't work for a second. I saw that face. Time to start wrapping up. Yeah. No, I think that's a good call. Yeah, guys, it is about 12:30 a.m. my time, and I'm fairly tired. But I want to say thank you guys for hanging out in the stream. Thank you for coming and just chilling, hanging out, reacting, talking to music, and let me get to know you guys a little bit more. Talking about Disney, talking about music, just hanging out, talking about whatever. This was actually way more successful than I thought it would be. I didn't think I'd get maybe more than 1 or 2 people popping in within 2 hours to say hi. So I definitely appreciate it, guys. So thank you so much. I'm gonna try to plan to do this every Friday then at 10 p.m. So there won't be actual reaction videos on Friday. We'll just plan to do a live stream so I can kind of connect with you guys, talk to you guys, and sit back, have a drink with me. We'll talk about, maybe we'll say, everyone can go around and say what they're drinking or something. So it's been a lot of fun, guys. Thank you so much, and hopefully you guys can continue checking out the channel. Thank you for being subscribed to me. I appreciate it. And we'll see you. We'll see you next Friday in the live stream if you want to hop by, and maybe I'll see your comments on some videos this week. So everyone, I hope you have a great night tonight. Thank you so much.